What are the teams, Coach? Part 3 on Let the Church Be the Church. The last 2 weeks, on our journey to maximize our freedom in Christ, we began to look at the teams in this epic battle between good and evil. On the side of light, we saw God, holy angels, and all believers in Jesus Christ. On the side of darkness, we have this fallen world system run by the devil, filled with its corrupt ways which are in opposition to God and His Word. And we have the flesh, our sin nature. Now today we'll look at our third enemy, the devil and his horde of demons. Now Satan is the evil one, the great opposer of God, the opposer of God's plans and really all of humanity. We see him early after creation as a serpent in Genesis chapter 3, inciting mankind into sin and rebellion against God. When humanity fell, Satan snuck right in and usurped our God-given dominion over the earth. And he's controlled this world system ever since. 1 John 5:19 says, "We know that we are children of God and that the whole world is under the control of the evil one." Jesus called him the ruler of this world, and Paul wrote that he's the God of this age. So it begins to become really clear why the world is so corrupt and opposes Christ and his followers so strongly. Other titles for Satan found in the New Testament include the tempter, Beelzebub, the wicked one, Belial, and the accuser of the brethren. Makes you want to cozy up to him, right? Most Bible scholars believe, and I tend to agree, that Satan was Lucifer, the highest and most powerful angel created by God. We read of his stature and his beauty, as well as his pride, sin, and then fall in Isaiah 14 and in Ezekiel 28. Here's a couple of excerpts from Ezekiel 28. It says, "You were the model of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were blameless in your ways from the day you were created until wickedness was found in you, and you sinned. So I drove you in disgrace from the mount of God, and I expelled you, O guardian cherub." Now, sometime after this, Satan persuaded 1/3 of all the angels to follow him, and they became the fallen angels, or the demons who now oppose God's work and his followers. Now, though these demons reside in a spiritual realm, they're ever active here on earth and in our lives. I mean, we witness their hateful and chaotic fruit every day. They, and not the people they often use to do their will or carry out their purposes, are our principal adversaries. We have to remember that. Now, the devil's main focus is to oppose the plans of God. He wants to steal God's glory, and he wants to take as many people to hell with him as possible. So if you're lost, as Christians sometimes say it, or you've never placed your faith in Jesus Christ, the devil works to keep you that way. Honestly, he doesn't care how you're lost, why you're lost, just as long as you are. You could be on drugs or an alcoholic. You could be an atheist who doesn't believe in God. You can be a New Ager who thinks he's God. Or someone just into themselves, living their life with no regard for God at all. Anything, just as long as you're lost and you stay that way. Satan's done his job, and he's pleased about that. Now, if you're a believer in Christ, Satan wants to keep you living on the periphery of God and your faith, really uninvolved. Church is okay. Even an occasional Bible study doesn't bother him at all, but do not start praying on a regular basis, and definitely do not share your faith with people who don't believe in Christ. He wants you out of the fight for the glory of God and the souls of men. So he'll distract you with money and material things, and man, that's huge here in the West. He'll beat you down with sin and guilt and shame. And here's a biggie for many of us: busyness, right? If Satan can tie up your finances because you're materialistic and you're up to your eyeballs in debt, or if he can tie up your time, he'll hardly be a factor at all. But here's the good news. Psalm 119:98 says, "Your commands make me wiser than my enemies." And 1 John 4:4 says, the one who is in you, that's Christ, is greater than the one who's in the world. We can be wise to our enemies and his ways, but will we snap out of our busyness, sin, and distractions to do it? It's only when we do that you and I will be engaged in this fight and let the church be the church.
If this video was helpful to you, please give it a like and share it. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.